and corruption, our children are presented with opportunities every day. As our children attend their daily classes and appointments, they are accompanied by spirits of every evil descent, opposing the teachings and doctrines that we strive daily to instill into the hearts of each child. The ultimate goal of these opposing spirits is to persuade our children to neglect the teachings of Christ and to cling to the temporary pleasures of the world and the flesh. It is our goal and desire to show our children that in yielding to and obeying the voice of God, the pleasures of this life with Him are more satisfying, and the life that is to come is eternally rewarding. Tonight, we welcome you to the 9 and 10-year-olds presentation of Replaced.
There once was a man of the tribe of Benjamin, whose name was Kish, and he had a child, whose name was Saul. Saul was a good man, and there was not a man among the children of Israel who was better or more pleasant than Saul. He was a tall man. He stood taller and higher than every man from his shoulders up. There came a time when the asses of Kish, Saul's father, were lost.
Saul, my donkeys are lost. Take one of my servants and go find my donkeys.
Yes, Father. You there. Servant, come with me, and we will journey together to find my father's animals.
They traveled through Mount Ephraim, through the land of Shalisha, through the land of Shalim, the Benjamites, and ended up in Zuph.
Man, I'm tired. These donkeys ain't gonna ever be found.
And my feet are filled with sand from these cheap sandals.
Come on, let's go back to my father before he starts to worry about us.
Well, sir, I know a man in the city who is a mighty man of God. Everything he says comes to pass. I think he can tell you where your father's animals are.
But what do we have to bring him? We ate all of our food.
I have a 4 shekel of silver.
Where did you get silver from? All right, that's good enough. Let's go.
So they went on their way to meet the man of God.
Man, these things are ridiculous. Excuse me, missus. Is he seeing here?
Yes, he is. He's right ahead of you. You better
About this time yesterday,
You better hurry. He came to the city to make sacrifices today.
You'll have to find him as soon as you come into the city before he goes to the high place to eat.
Oh yes, the people won't eat until he's blessed it. Now go, go.
and Samuel.
So off they went to the city to meet Samuel. And Samuel came out to meet them on his way to the high place. Now about this time yesterday, the Lord had already spoken with Samuel and said to him, Samuel, tomorrow about this time, I will send thee a man out of the land of Benjamin, and thou shalt anoint him to be captain over my people Israel, that he may save my people, because their cry is come unto me. When Samuel looked and beheld Saul, the Lord spoke to him again, saying, Behold the man whom I spake to thee of, this same shall reign over my people.
Do you know where the seer is?
I am the seer. Go before me to the high place. You will eat with us and sleep here. Then I will let you go tomorrow after I tell you all that I need to say. Do not worry about the animals that were lost. They have been found. And on who is the desire of all Israel? It is not on you and your father's house?
But I'm just a Benjamite, the smallest of the tribes of Israel, and my family is even the least of that tribe. So what do you mean, Samuel, when you say these things to me?
Come, child.
Samuel brought Saul and his servant to the parlor, and fed them in the nicest place among them that were bidden, better than the 30 or so people who were dining there. When the morning came, and they were no longer in the high place, Samuel called Saul to depart from the city.
Tell your servant to keep walking, but you stay a while, so I can tell you all that the Lord has said.
Servant, Leave me here for a while.
The Lord has anointed you to be the captain over his inheritance.
And it was so, that when he had turned his back to go from Samuel, God gave him another heart. And Samuel called all the people together unto the Lord at Mizpah, and spoke unto them, saying,
This is what the Lord God of Israel has said. This is what the Lord God of Israel hath said.
That oppressed you. And ye have this day rejected your God, who himself saved you out of all your adversities and your tribulations. And ye have said unto him, Nay, but set a king over us. Now therefore present yourselves before the Lord by your tribes and by your thousands.
And after Samuel made all the tribes to present themselves, the tribe of Benjamin was selected.
Benjamin, step forth. Family of a tree, step forth. Where is the boy?
The one you seek is hid himself among the stuff.
Run and fetch the lad from the stuff. See the man who the Lord has chosen. There is none like him in all the tribes. Hooray!
Becoming the head of an army of 330,000 men, and overthrowing the Ammonites. The kingdom was renewed to Saul, and Samuel spoke to the people, saying,
Moreover, as for me, God forbid that I should sin against the Lord in ceasing to pray for you. But I will teach you the good and right way. Only fear the Lord and serve him in truth with all your heart. For consider how great things he has done for you. But if ye shall still do wickedly, ye shall be consumed, both ye and your king.
There came a time when the Lord sent Samuel to Saul, saying,
I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way when he came up from Egypt. Now go and smite Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have and spare them not. But slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and ass.
And Saul gathered the people together and counted them. There were 200,000 footmen and 10,000 men of Judah. Saul and his men came to a city of Amalek and hid in the valley, waiting. He came to some Kenites and sent them away for the kindness they'd shown to the Israelites. Then they overthrew the Amalekites.
In the name of the Lord, charge!
Saul smote the Amalekites from Havilah to Shur. When the war was ended, Saul had utterly destroyed all the people by sword. But he saved the king and the best of the sheep, oxen, fatlings, lambs, and all that was good, destroying only that which was vile and refused. When we left off, Saul had just returned from a great slaughter of the Amalekites. He was told by God to utterly destroy everything of the Amalekites and save nothing. Saul slew them with a great slaughter, but saved the king and all that was good. Let's look in on Samuel the seer and see what message God has for him now.
I regret the day that I made Saul king. He has turned back from following me and has not performed my commandments. When he was little in his own sight, did I not make him king over Israel? I sent him on a journey. I said to utterly destroy the Amalekites and fight against them until they were consumed. Why didn't he obey? Why did he save the spoil and do evil in my sight? I have rejected Saul from being king over Israel. Tomorrow, go and see Saul. Tell him I have taken the kingdom away and given it to his neighbor who is better than he. Saul has been replaced.
No.
And he cried before God all night long. Samuel arose early the next morning and went to see Saul.
Samuel, God bless you. God bless you. I have done all that the Lord has told me to. I've kept his commandments. Oh, and what a great slaughter it was when
You've obeyed the voice of the Lord.
Well, yes,
Then what is the bleating of sheep I hear in my ears, and the noises of oxen I hear?
See, those came from the Amalekites. They said that we should keep the rich spoil to make sacrifices unto God, but we destroyed the rest as God commanded.
Stay, and I will tell you what God has said. Don't you know that obedience is better than sacrifice? To obey the voice of the Lord is better than anything you could ever sacrifice. Rebellion is like the sin of witchcraft. Your stubbornness is as iniquity and as idolatry. Saul, you have rejected the word of God, and he has rejected you as king.
No, wait, forgive me. I see what I've done. Please, come and help me worship God right this time. Please.
The Lord has ripped the kingdom away from you this day, and he has given it to someone else. And he is better than you. The strength of Israel shall not lie. God is finished with you. Saul, you have been permanently replaced.
Oh, no.
Saul convinced Samuel to pray with him that day, and he killed Agag. But the Lord never changed his mind, and Samuel never came to see Saul again until the day of his death. Saul had fallen with no hope of restoration to come. Although Samuel never came to see Saul again, he still mourned for his loss. But God was sorry that he ever made Saul king. Let's look in on Samuel now.
Yes, Lord.
How long will you mourn for Saul?
Lord,
I have rejected him from reigning over Israel. Go get your oil and go to the house of Jesse the Bethlehemite. There I have provided me a king among his sons.
So Samuel rose and went to the house of Jesse.
Father, the seer's here. He's coming, Johnny, he's coming here. Oh, dear God. My family, let's gather together and pray that the Lord will not rain down his wrath upon us. Dear God of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. I'm out of here. Samuel, welcome to my abode. I bring good tidings. He brings good tidings.
he must be the one.
Look not on his countenance or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth, for man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart.
That day, Samuel went through all the sons that Jesse showed him, until he showed him no more.
God has not chosen any of these. Are these all of your sons?
Well, no. There's the youngest one, but he's just a sheepkeeper. I don't think,
Bring him to me. We won't continue until I've seen all of your sons.
of course.
He is the one. Anoint him in the name of the Lord.
David, King of Israel.
Thank the Lord.
Good job.
And the Spirit of the Lord came upon David from that day forward. But the Spirit of God left Saul, and an evil spirit from the Lord troubled him. There came a time when Saul's servants noticed that he was perplexed with an evil spirit.
King Saul,
Louder.
King Saul, an evil spirit is upon you. I will find a man that is skilled at the harp so he can play the harp when the spirit comes upon you.
Find me a man like this.
Away went Saul's servant and returned with David. And when the evil spirit from the Lord would come upon Saul, David would play his harp, and the evil spirit would depart. And Saul loved David, and sent a message to Jesse that he would stand before him and be his armor bearer. When the Israelites were at war with the Philistines, and the Philistines stood on a mountain on one side, and the Israelites stood on a mountain on the other side, and in between them was a valley. And there came from the camp of the Philistines a champion named Goliath. His height was around 9 feet or 9 inches, armed with a coat of mail that was formed of plates of brass, overlapping each other like the scales of a fish. His coat of mail weighed about 156 pounds and 4 ounces itself. He wore greaves of brass upon his legs, which covered the leg from the knee down to the ankle, and strapped behind the leg. He had a target of brass between his shoulders. The staff on his spear was like a weaver's beam. His spear weighed around 18 pounds and 12 ounces.
Why have you come here to war against me? Aren't I just a Philistine, and you servants to the mighty King Saul? Choose a man who will come down and fight with me. If he prevails, then will we be your servants. But if I prevail, then will you be our servants and serve us. I defy the armies of Israel this day. Give me a man that we may fight together.
When we left off, Saul and all of Israel had just heard the great threat of Goliath. And Goliath presented himself this way for 40 days. And throughout all the camp of Israel there was great fear. Saul made a decree that whoever could fight against Goliath and defeat him, he would reward with great riches and give him his daughter. Now David had left Saul and returned home to keep his father's sheep, but his brothers were away at war. So Jesse sent David with corn and bread to feed his brothers, cheese for the captain of their troops, and told him to see how his brothers were doing. Let's look in.
Brothers, I bring food from Father and cheese for the captain. Father asked me to look upon you and get a report to bring.
It's been 40 days, men. Aren't I just a Philistine, and you servants to the mighty King Saul? Choose a man who will come down and fight with me. If he prevail, then will we be your servants. But if I prevail, if I prevail, then will you serve us. I defy the armies of Israel this day. Give me a man that we may fight together.
He did that. He's so big.
Oh, man, what happened? What will happen to the man who defeats this guy? And who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he would defy the armies of the living God?
King Saul said that the man who defeats Goliath will get his daughter's hand in marriage, riches, and her father's house. David, I know you were just trying to come here just to see the war. And who did you leave your sheep with?
What wrong have I done? Is there not a cause?
Come on.
Brother, tell me about this guy again.
And the words of David were repeated in the ears of Saul, and Saul sent for David. David agreed to fight Goliath for the armies of the Lord, and Saul armed him for war.
David, I just don't think you're going to be able to defeat Goliath. I mean, you're a kid, and he's a giant, a monster, a freak of nature.
King Saul, when I kept my father's sheep, I killed a lion who stole one of our sheep.
Right.
A lion and a bear, actually. And this uncircumcised Philistine will lie dead just like one of them, because he defied the armies of the living God. Just like God saved me from the paw of a lion and the bear, he will deliver me from God.
That's right.
Very well then. I see you have armor.
This stuff won't work. I know what I need.
David went down to the brook and grabbed 5 smooth stones and put them in his shepherd's bag. And he had a sling in his hand when he went to face Goliath.
What am I, a dog? You come with me with sticks? Curse you by the gods of my people. Come to me, and I will feed you to the fowls of the air and to the beasts.
Yeah, old man. Hold your trash up. You come at me with a lame sword, a spear, and a shield, but I command you with the name of the Lord, who you defy. First, I'm going to knock you out with one quick one to the forehead. Then I'm going to chop off your head and take it. And for the rest of your little fiddly back there, I'm going to feed them to the birds and the beasts of the field like you think you're going to do to me. And all will know that there is a God of Israel. For the battle is the Lord's, and he will deliver you into our hands.
The men charged at one another, but before Goliath could reach David, he was struck in the head by a smooth stone. The stone fell deep into the head of Goliath, and the giant came tumbling down.
The gods are against us! Run for your lives!
So David defeated Goliath and the Philistines with a sling, a stone, and no sword.
Only a boy named David.
Only a boy named David, but he can play and sing. Only a boy named David, only a ripping brook. Only a boy named David, and 5 little stones he took. And one little stone went into the sling, and the sling went round and round. And one little stone went into the sling, and the sling went round and round. And round and round and round and round and round and round and round. And one little stone went up in the air. And the giant came tumbling down.
Goliath, Saul kept David, and David went out wherever Saul sent him, and behaved himself wisely. Jonathan, Saul's son, and David became best friends, so much that Jonathan loved him as his own soul, and made a covenant with him. Let's look in on Saul and the Israelites as they return from war to celebrate the victory over the Philistines.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us celebrate the victory that God has given us. Bring in the dancers through the streets and welcome the King and the one who has rescued us from the Philistines.
Saul has slain his 1,000, and David his 10,000. Saul has slain his 1,000, and David his 10,000.
They say David has killed 10,000s, and only thousands for me. Why don't they just say he has the whole kingdom? How dare they? I am king. I'm watching you, David. I'm watching. One moment by yourself, and it's over. I am the king of Israel. Ooh.
And it came to pass on the morrow that the evil spirit from God came upon Saul, and he prophesied in the midst of the house. And David played with his hand, as at other times, and there was a javelin in Saul's hand. Saul tried to kill David twice that night, but when he could not, he developed a fear of David because he knew the Lord was with him. Saul moved David from his presence and made him his captain over 1,000.
David, my father's trying to kill you.
What wrong have I done?
This goes much deeper than you think, David. You must do as I say and hide yourself tonight.
Hide!
Hide, David. You must hide yourself tonight. I will talk with my father. I will meet with him near you. I will see if I can talk some sense into him.
Okay, Jonathan.
Be careful.
Aww.
Jonathan.
Father, I want to talk with you. I want to speak with you tonight. Father, why are you trying to kill David? Can't you see the hand of God is on him? David killed Goliath and the Philistines. Why are you doing such sin against him? Such a good servant. His blood is innocent.
You are right, my child. I swear by the living Lord, David shall not be harmed.
But this was not true. There came a time when Saul thought to kill David by night, but God spared him by using Saul's daughter, Michal, whom David was married to.
David, my father's trying to kill you. He has servants waiting outside, waiting to slay you at the crack of dawn.
What wrong have I done? I've only lived right before him.
Jealousy needs no reason. He has set it in his heart to kill you, and only God himself can stop him. Now go.
Go?
Yes, out the window.
But won't the king know you let me out?
Well, then I pray to the Lord that we will reunite once again and he will keep me safe. Now you must go out the window.
The king demands to see David.
Deliver the message to the king that David is sick.
The king demands to see David.
Didn't I tell you that he was sick?
We have orders to bring him in the bed.
That's not necessary.
Move, you foolish woman! He's not here! You!
David escaped that night and fled to Ramah. But this was not the last time Saul attempted to slay David. The Bible accounts for 11 offenses of Saul upon David. Saul, driven by envy and an evil spirit, spent much of his life seeking to destroy David. He tried to ruin Jonathan and David's relationship. He cast his javelin at Jonathan, angry that his own son would take up for his enemy. Saul attempted to slay him with his dagger. He sought for him in caves and mountains. He made orders to kill 85 priests of the Lord and the whole city of the priests, men, sucklings, oxen, asses, and sheep with the edge of the sword. As the Bible accounts, for many times Saul tried to kill David. We also read of the death of Samuel, the prophet, while Saul was king. There came a time when the Philistines were at war with Israel. Before going to war, Saul asked for the soul of Samuel to be called up from the grave.
Why should I do such a thing that will have me killed? For Saul has killed all women with familiar spirits.
I assure you by the living Lord, you shall not be harmed.
Okay. Whom shall I awaken?
Samuel the prophet.
From the graves of souls where mortals sleep, to the locked and sealed dungeons, my summons creep. If the one whom you beckon comes, I wish you well. Now awaken the soul of Samuel! You deceived me! You're Saul!
Don't be afraid. What do you see?
A man covered in a mantle.
Samuel. Saul.
Saul, why are you waking me up?
Samuel, I need your help.
You need my what?
Samuel, the Philistines are coming and God has not answered us.
Man, didn't I tell you God is not with you? He left your foolishness after the war with the Amalek. And tomorrow they're gonna kill you and your sons to take over. Now let me go back to sleep. Oh, that child. And you, don't wake me up again. No, no.
The next day, Saul and his sons were slain. David eventually rose to power as king and worked many wonders in the sight of God. Let this be a lesson to all who watch and listen. Obedience is better than sacrifice. When we become big in our own sight, we are sure to lose the anointing and the blessings of God.
This has been a production.
15:22. And Samuel said, "Hath the Lord answered
greatly like in burnt offerings and sacrifices, as in obeying the voice of the Lord. Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams.